Hi everyone. In this video we're going to talk about the 3 best camera phone in the market. I made this list based on my personal opinion, and lots of research and have listed them based on quality, durability, performance price, and more. You can find the purchase link all over the products mentioned in this video down in the description below. So, let us get started. Let's begin at number 3. Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, our choice for best overall camera phone. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra has an incredible camera that's among the best you'll find on any of today's top-end phones. It's capable of taking amazing photos that can even rival and surpass the iPhone 12 Pro Max in its overall image quality. The camera array consists of a primary 108-megapixel 1/1.33-inch sensor coupled with the 24mm equivalent f1.8 aperture lens with optical image stabilization and face detection autofocus, and ultra-wide camera with a 12-megapixel 1/2.55-inch sensor and 13mm equivalent f2.2 aperture lens with dual-pixel AF2 telephoto cameras, each with a 10-megapixel sensor. Dual-pixel AF and O is with one camera having a 72mm equivalent f2.4 aperture lens and the other having a 240mm equivalent f4.9 aperture lens that allows for extremely long 100x tele-zooming. For video, the S21 Ultra shoots at 4320p at 24 fps, 2160p at 60 or 30 fps, and supports HDR10+. Exposure is pretty accurate and the dynamic range is wide, showing good detail in both highlight and shadow areas of the frame. The colors look nice and skin tones are pleasant when shooting in reasonable light levels, but saturation and overall detail decreases in low light. The autofocus system also slows down in low light and high contrast scenes. But otherwise, the S21 Ultra delivers accurately focused images. For video, the S21 Ultra delivers stable exposure and fairly wide dynamic range. As long as you're shooting with adequate light, the autofocus keeps things sharp, and thanks to a 60 fps frame rate, motion looks mostly nice and smooth. But in low light conditions, the AF tends to slow down. The Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra would be a great choice for you if you want a lot of variety in the way you shoot. The dual telephoto lenses have incredible zoom capabilities up to 100x that will let you capture things you never could before. Let's begin at number 2. Next, we have the Google Pixel 5, our selection for best AI camera phone. The Google Pixel 5 uses the same camera sensor and f1.7 lens as the Pixel 4. However, the Pixel 5 improves on the camera array with both a wide and an ultra-wide camera. There's a standard or a 12.2 megapixel 1/2.55-inch sensor coupled to a 27mm equivalent to f1.7 lens with dual pixel face detection autofocus and optical image stabilization. Google has equipped the Pixel 5 with a second to 16 megapixel 1/3.09-inch sensor alongside the 16.5mm equivalent f2.2 aperture lens. Detail and texture are good and ultra-wide shots feature nice exposure and color. It's surprisingly good at close range, but when you extend the zoom in excess of 2x, magnification detail starts to suffer. For night portraits, the flash performs quite well. In low light landscapes are acceptable. Switching to portrait mode, bokeh simulation is also respectable, rendering a pleasant effect. When it comes to shooting video, the Pixel 5 excels at autofocus and stabilization. Videos look best in better lighting where exposure, color, and detail are good, as low light conditions produce some underwhelming exposure and obvious color casts. In good lighting conditions, the Pixel 5 performs well in both indoor and outdoor situations where accurate white balance and nice rendering ensure generally vibrant color and pleasant skin tones that appear warmer compared to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Autofocus is close to the top performing devices and it's fast in most cases. There's minimal delay for the Pixel 5 to find focus even under challenging HDR situations. The only exception again is in very low light conditions where there are slower reaction times on handheld shots. Footage still turns out with sharp focus despite the slight delay. Under normal indoor conditions, the autofocus is super fast and highly accurate. The Google Pixel 5 would be a great choice for you if you really enjoy shooting and editing photos. They may not have a wide array of rear cameras, but its photo editing software is superb. Let's begin at number 1. Finally, the OnePlus 9 Pro, our pick for great flagship camera phone. The 9 Pro is OnePlus's 2021 flagship model, and through a partnership with the iconic photography company Hasselblad, the 9 Pro boasts the quad camera that includes standard wide, ultra-wide and telephoto modules, as well as a 2-megapixel monochrome sensor, and features a 48-megapixel 2x2 OCO quad bare sensor. The OnePlus 9 Pro gets most of the basics right when it comes to photography. Dynamic range: it's particularly impressive with bright highlights often well preserved when shooting in high contrast conditions. Target exposures of people can be a little low and strongly backlit shots, but for the most part the 9 Pro delivers nice exposure. White balance is fairly neutral in most shots and colors are generally well saturated. Detail is particularly impressive in outdoor shots, and even if the light levels drop, the 9 Pro is able to retain detail even in fine structures. The ultra-wide camera has a 14mm equivalent focal length and f2.2 aperture for the ultra-wide one, plus a switch to the larger Sony IMX766 50-megapixel 1/1.56-inch sensor, which allows more light to pass through, giving it an edge over its competitors. The tele camera utilizes an 8-megapixel sensor with a 77mm equivalent f2.4 aperture lens that's equal to a 3x optical zoom, which is decent, but falls short of the longer range is available on competitors like the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. For video, the OnePlus 9 Pro comes with 8K recording at 30 fps. The results of OnePlus's collaboration with Hasselblad and the 9 Pro to optimize color calibration and the design of the camera app are clear to see, with images having more lifelike colors than previous OnePlus phones. The camera also offers a powerful set of manual controls, but also works well when shooting in auto mode, making it a strong point and shoot camera and a good choice for you.